Well, to be clear, they were invited into our building. But, for me, to me, the NWA is a thing of the past. I wish Billy Corgan and Tim Storm all the best with future. I've always said a rising tide rises all ships. Clearly, the wrestling industry right now needs as many ships rising as possible because sports entertainment just doesn't seem to be getting the job done. So I wish them all the best. But, for me to comment on something from 3 years ago,
23, yeah.
20 years ago, seems to be, at very least dated. So that was why I declined the interview in the first place. I mean, you're talking about something that's archaic in wrestling terms, for me. I don't wish them any ill will. I wish them all the best. But to bring me into that fray, I think is trying to capitalize on something that is part of ECW lore, and that is something I'm very, very protective of. Like I've often said, Vince McMahon may own the name, but we and the fans, we being the boys that, and everybody knows when I say boys, I mean the men and women that made ECW wrestling. And the fans own the legacy of ECW. And that's something Vince can't buy, and that drives him crazy. So when you watch ECW on the network and you see Shane Douglas come out to la-di-da-da-da-da-da, and Sandman coming out to some canned bullshit music, it just looks so cornball and so corporate and so cheap for a billion-dollar industry to not want to spend the 30 or 40 cents, whatever it would be, per airing of it. But same thing with Billy Corgan. To try to then now step in and try to capitalize on what is ECW lore, that's something that I take umbrage with. So it was nothing against Billy or Tim or the NWA title. But to me, that's not something that I'm just going to give away willy-nilly or just let somebody interview me for free to get my opinions on that I know they're going to try to twist into their narrative. We would do the same thing, and we did do the same thing with the ECW belt throwdown. But why I would even take the chomp at that bit is beyond me. So, for the ECW fans that remember that in almost religious overtones as to how we did and what we did to launch the whole Extreme era. Because it wasn't just that night. That was what started the entire ECW apex that came later, within a year and a half to pay-per-view and changed the industry. The fans today still chant ECW in large part based off of what transpired that night. So if somebody wants me to talk about that, I'm going to damn well expect to have some creative control over how it's used, not for me and not for my kids, but for the ECW fans to make damn sure that what is done pays respect and homage to what we did with ECW. And again, with all the best intentions and wishes and hopes for NWA to do great things again in wrestling to help all the wrestlers coming up in the business today. But me willy-nilly giving away that story to somebody who had nothing to do with it, I don't see the connection. I really don't. And so, it's like we have two trains heading towards each other on the same track. I don't know how it gets played out.